Yeah. So, you know what I love about the escape pod?
What's that?
It was bred from us just like, well, we were doing 5 minutes before this recording started, where we were just standing in the kitchen, and then you're like, hey, this topic, and I'm like, I have a fucking opinion about that.
Yeah.
Or reverse, and then one of us just kind of goes off, and then we have this nice back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was bred from that, right? That like idea of like, we're friends with strong opinions of media. They don't always see eye to eye, but we have strong opinions and the ability to back them up 95% of the time.
Yeah, there's some bullshittery in there on occasion. There's some strong devil's advocating that makes you seem like you won, but you actually didn't believe that.
Yeah, and I feel like we haven't really uploaded the escape pod for a while.
Yeah,
I'm uploading this probably tonight. I don't give a fuck about this, but
no, go ahead.
And it's because like we have these ideas for conversations that will just go off on each other, and then it rarely sees the light of day because we just have it in the kitchen or wherever we are. But
many hours of conversations.
But we stopped ourselves today.
Yeah.
Dear listener, because I said something that baffled Josiah.
I don't know why it did. I had this weird feeling or assumption. So basically what the idea was you were saying in the course of a different conversation that is not going to be dredged up because that goes way too deep.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to recount the whole backstory.
No.
But I basically brought up the, like, oh yeah, Mandalorian season 2 and like, it's losing viewers kind of like Solo, even though it's probably better. And you kind of like stopped and then you kind of had a look on your face and I'm like, wait, it's better, right? And you're like, and then it kind of was like getting you to reveal this hot take that Mandalorian season 2 is actually not very good. Yeah.
So I started going off, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, we have to record this. So here's where we are. Let me give you some backstory about really fucking quick. So Star Wars, I like it, not all of it. Good percentage of it though. Original 3 films, great. Prequel trilogy sucks, but Revenge of the Sith does try. Sequel trilogy, ass cancer. Rogue One could have been good. Solo, turn your brain off, fun time, I'll admit that. Yeah. So for the most part, Disney Star Wars sucks my fucking cock, but not in a good way. Clone Wars was great. I got bored through Rebels and I stopped in season 1. I don't know where I am. I'll pick it up one day.
Don't even go past season 2.
I feel like I have to at some point. Not right now because I'm in a really good spot in my life. I'm going through Power Rangers and that's just way better. So
again, just remember our deal. You have to read the Thrawn. You have to read the Thrawn
I'm going to. I fucking promise you.
Before you get to him in Rebels.
Oh shit. Okay, that's fine. So Mandalorian season 1.
Yeah.
I, for the most part, enjoyed, but I have a lot of criticisms about it. I think episode 2 is a slog. It's a filler episode in a show that's 8 episodes. You shouldn't have filler. Episode 5, the one with the Solo character, not very good whatsoever. Really bad. I also don't like some of the finale because I feel like Taika Waititi, and also spoilers, I hate Thor Ragnarok.
What's amazing to me is that Thor Ragnarok is like the thing people are going to like crucify you for having an opinion.
I don't care.
No. I'm saying it's ironic that of all the film opinions you've had, it is specifically Thor Ragnarok that has caused people to, in a private conversation, literally complain about the fact that you have that opinion.
Yeah, well, people think, even my friends, when they hear me say the words, I don't like Thor Ragnarok, they're like, do you not like fun? And I'm like, I like fun. I just enjoy like competent storytelling and writing and consistent characters that have arcs. Thor Ragnarok does not have that. It has the foundation of a good movie, that it fails on every accord because it wants to be funny. Like it's this scene where like, and it's all, I won't dredge on Thor Ragnarok for too long, but it's a scene where like, Thor's lost his hammer, Thor's lost his dad, Thor's lost his fucking world. He's in a goddamn prison, a gladiator prison, and Taika Waititi as the rock guy, I forget his name. So Taika Waititi is the director. as the Rock character who he plays in the movie, plays a CGI character, comes onto screen and like tells the audience that Thor is sad about losing his hammer.
Yeah.
He tells the audience.
Sounds like you had a pretty special and intimate relationship with this hammer, and that losing it was almost comparable to losing a loved one.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Now, we could have inferred that by Thor picking up the small little dinky hammer, sighing, and like putting it away. Yeah. And then I would have been like, oh, fuck.
Because it's kind of funny, but it's still meaningful.
It's a joke because it's a small hammer and he had a big hammer. Yeah. But it's sad because he lost his fucking hammer. That's like his personality. So like that, if it was that, I'd be like, wow, Thor Ragnarok asking the real questions, showing some depth of character. But no, funny Taika rock robot, whatever, has to come out and say, oh, looks like you're sad about losing your hammer, and like psychoanalyze, and that ruins it.
It's awful writing.
Yeah, because you can have a joke during a serious moment, which would be looks at the small hammer, sighs, we all kind of laugh, and then like he looks dejected, puts it away, then we all kind of go, oh. Like that is the scene, and that could work. So it's that scene multiplied through the whole fucking movie to where like I was just calling every joke because he did it like 5 minutes ago. It wasn't good. And so like Taika Waititi, like when he did the last episode of The Mandalorian and he had his own character, the IG bot, save everybody and sacrifice itself immaculately to save all the main characters and kill all the bad guys, I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, stop stroking your cock off, dude. Like, I get it. You're taking on these big properties and you're like having fun with it.
Yeah.
Stop.
It does have that sense of he's kind of like constantly whispering, hey, I came up with that when you're watching a movie of his. It's very weird. Like, and Thor Ragnarok, again, we're going to wrap this up, but Thor Ragnarok was also a movie where they could have cut like 30 minutes, but they were like, we need to leave every joke in.
Because it's funny. And it's like, but you set this up to be the sad movie. Remember, like, when they were, like...
It's called Ragnarok.
It's called Ragnarok. And, like, anyway. All I'm saying is that I think Taika Waititi is overrated. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, and people tell me you need to wait for Jojo Rabbit. So... I think he's overrated in the sense that from what I've seen, the Ragnarok in his Mandalorian episode, he's overrated, and all he does is that I've seen is self-insert himself into things and ruin it.
Because like, he's Hitler in Jojo Rabbit or whatever.
At least not a fucking animated character again. Jesus. I also didn't like the finale of Mandalorian because obviously spoilers for the Mandalorian. I feel like that's obvious.
Yeah. But everyone's seen it and everyone doesn't care.
It. Yeah, everyone's seen it and knows about it.
Because season 1, that was like the new Game of Thrones, dude.
Remember when I was going to write a big video about spoilers because of that first episode and spoilers, Baby Yoda?
Stop it! You're spoiling it! You're spoiling everything!
Yeah, I do remember. You were feeling very strongly about it.
I still do. It's this is probably the video where it's going to come out.
When Mandalorian actually gets canceled, you will point to that moment as the moment that it lost you.
Yeah, before I even started.
Yeah.
I was already like,
So season 1 had problems.
Yeah, and also I will say one last thing about it. The fact that there's that character played by Nick Nolte, the little guy says, this is the way. He's great. Like, you get really attached to him. He kind of saves Mando. He helps save the baby, builds up the ship, kind of becomes part of the team. He's a cool guy. It's a good character. And this episode 7 was like my second favorite, followed by 3, which were both done by who's heading up the Kenobi show.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Thank God that she's doing that show because those are the best episodes. Like this character that we've known and loved for all this time is like running with the child back to the ship, trying to get away, and the scout stormtroopers are following him, and they're shooting around him, and he's on this little dinky like donkey type alien horse, and they're on speeders. And then it shoots and we cut away, end of the episode. Next episode opens up, he's fucking dead. And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
And I'm like, for me, I'm like, stakes raised. This is so good. Like, oh my God. I'm like, shit. Is Taika going to pull it off? Because I'm like, fuck, dude. Taika killed off like a lovable character. Yeah. That's kind of big of him. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's so, and then that so epitomizes your perspective on film, I feel, because all three of us in the escape pod balance each other, and I feel like you're usually on the more positive side. Nathan's usually on the more negative side, and I can kind of vary, but usually I'm kind of in that center.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me that
I'm like, I hate Thor Ragnarok, but I'm like, I'm willing to give you a chance.
You were like Taika Waititi. The setup is here. Literally, like, you can do this. I know you can.
Yeah.
Like that. That is so. That makes like your reaction to the final episode even better, because it's like it was just broken hope that you didn't think you could even form.
Well, because then the next scene is a Red versus Blue sketch.
Hey, yeah. You ever wonder why we're here?
And like, I'm not watching Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
And I like Red versus Blue. And I watch Red versus Blue to get that humor, to get that feel. That's not what I come to Star Wars for. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know what you're doing. And so, like, the whole thing is that, you know, the joke is stormtroopers miss. That's like a meme.
That's a meme.
And that's a problem with modern shows, kind of movies too. More so shows.
More so shows, but honestly, in a lot of new media, reboots specifically is all about like
people have made X joke about
people have made
series.
Memes. So the Disney live action movies do this too, where they like overcompensate for like weird complaints about the movie that don't matter.
Yeah.
So
so this is one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, stormtroopers missed their shots. And like, as an audience member, when we make the joke to each other, it's funny. When you address it yourself, it loses the humor because you're not in on the joke. You're the corporate. We're making fun of you. Just because you make fun of yourself doesn't make it funny. So like, they do this joke where they've killed a beloved character, and now they're sitting there, and they're trying to shoot like a can.
Yeah,
and they're missing
the two stormtroopers,
and they're making jokes about how, like, you know, they're missing and shit like that. When, like, in canon, 10 minutes ago, they chased down somebody on a moving animal while they're also on a moving thing, and they fucking killed them dead. So no, they're not bad shots. Also, they're fucking scout troopers. They should be better than that. If it was, like, other random stormtroopers doing it, I would have liked the joke 5% more.
Well, that's the thing is, I hate when things I know it's comedy, but I hate when things do the whole self-aware thing that contradicts like what actually the capability they were in the last scene.
If it would have been any other stormtrooper, I would have been like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, maybe these guys suck specifically. And
then they see the scout troopers come with like the baby, and they're like, there goes like Jeff and Steve again. They're fucking like, I wish I was a scout trooper. But you can't hit that good. I know. Like, that would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been funny, and it would have been somewhat funny, and then it would have been like, oh,
I would have chuckled a little bit.
Now those scout troopers are still threats.
Yeah,
because when you do that, you make them not threats anymore.
Yeah, because it's that where it's A, it's their scout troopers, and B, they just kill the character. So like, they're making jokes. I'm supposed to laugh with the people who just murdered this character. It's like, what if, like, the episode after the Red Wedding, we just sat with the phrase for 5 minutes, and they joked about how bad they are at killing people. And it's like, but you just murdered all the Starks. Also,
well, I mean, if you go to like Game of Thrones season 7 and 8, that's exactly what the writing is.
Yeah. So
it's just that.
Like, but imagine that happened like between scenes. That jump, like that jump in quality.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just think it's really weird that we make jokes with characters that just killed somebody that we like, and we're supposed to laugh at this, I guess. And also, they punched the kid during this scene, and I'm like, am I supposed to like them? Taika, you're sacrificing a lot for the joke, which is what he does. He sacrifices the meaningful moment of this character just died for haha, stormtroopers can't hit. Well, in Thor Ragnarok, sacrifice the impact of Thor losing everything with, haha, isn't he sad boy?
You know what's so fucking funny? Taika Waititi feels like someone who when they grew up, their favorite movie was Guardians of the Galaxy. And like 20 years from now, they've taken all the elements that weren't what was great about Guardians of the Galaxy. They only know like the weird James Gunn humor.
Like, they remember what they saw when they were a kid, but since they weren't a kid, they didn't pick up on all of like the nuances of storytelling and creativity and drama. And they just got, isn't it so funny that he goes and kills people for his headphones?
Yeah.
Without the, but it's because of the fact that his mom gave it to him, and that's why it's emotionally impactful. You can take that if you want.
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Joe had a phone call. It's okay.
Yeah.
But The Mandalorian Season 2, man, this is already be a good recording. We're 15 minutes in, and just now we're like, now we'll talk about
Listen, we're not even going to edit this. It's totally
It's
fine.
not editable. You can't. This is chaos. You can't control this.
Good.
So I took off I was making a pot of coffee. I was going to edit tonight. And then literally I stopped the pot brewing in the middle to pour what was already brewed to have a cup for this recording. I want everyone to know
that. Was such an iconic ghetto moment of just like, I'm living in Linwood/Everett area. You know, this is what I do to make sure I can get my coffee immediately.
Yeah. Like the rest will still be there, but I have this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so despite what I just said about The Mandalorian Season 1, I did overall enjoy it. I had a good time. Like, it's you know, I was telling you before we recorded, but I'll reiterate it. It's that classic story of, like, have you seen Logan, The Last of Us? You know, big, strong lone wolf takes on small thing, becomes attached, and wants to see it through to the end to bring it to its people and stuff and protect it. It's that classic cowboy story. And what we agreed on, too, is that, like, Star Wars is best when it's taking a story that is classic, like the hero's journey, and then puts it in its special window dressing. We made the analogy of a restaurant. Like, you've had meat, like meatballs and spaghetti, but have you had it done by Gordon Ramsay?
And what I feel is that that's why the prequels actually failed. Is that George Lucas was trying to do something new, but he didn't factor in that he was also being a prequel to a hero's journey. Yeah. So there was kind of like a clash when Star Wars was kind of changing what it was. Yeah.
Which is why, like, as bad as the prequels are, and they tried something, and that's kind of what I can say about The Mandalorian, is that it tried something. That's what I say about Rogue One, it tried something. Same with Solo.
Yeah. It's not the traditional Star Wars formula, but some of those work.
Like, it takes references and jokes and callbacks, and they had to make it family friendly, blah, blah, but, like, on the whole, it's like, hey, despite being, like, constricted by this evil corporation that wants to just make it for the mass populace, you tried to do, you know, like a big, epic World War II espionage movie.
That's why, yes, Gareth Edwards, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why Solo was so remarkable to me, and why it's the best Disney Star Wars film, is because people are like, oh, Solo's bad. I'm like, well, it was completely reshot, had two different sets of, like, two different directors with completely different styles, and we recast, like, one of the main, like, the main villain.
The main bad guy, yeah.
That movie should not be nearly as good as it is.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking competent. Like, again, Solo isn't high art. It's not There'll Be Blood. But, like, no. Solo is, like, a really good movie to put on when you've seen it a couple times. You don't really want to pay too much attention. But, like, you know what's going to happen. It's a fun time.
Like, it actually has some really good emotional moments. But the tragedy of Solo is that I don't think we're going to get a trilogy that I would want to really flesh this out.
Yeah. And we won't talk about, like, the rumor mill and shit, because then we'll have a whole podcast about that, and I don't want to do that.
But Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, so going in, I have, like, really excited expectations, because I'm like, well, okay. So the plot is, you know, we have to get the baby to its people. Classic.
Right, yeah.
So it's
probably going to be 3 seasons.
Yeah, something, maybe, something like that. You know? Yeah. And so, which is why it's baffling me in Season 1, they had, like, 2 filler episodes. Like, the second one, and the third, and the fifth one, which was, you know, again, the baby stops the big rhino thing, and also the fucking knockoff Han Solo episode, which I want to touch on for a second. Because, like...
He comes back?
Characters from that episode do.
Okay.
So that's why I'm kind of talking about it. But also because, like, if The Mandalorian had happened, like, a year or two after Star Wars, the original trilogy, stopped, that episode wouldn't have existed, because... No. That character exists because we, outside the universe, as an audience member, know Han Solo, know that caricature, and, like, that's a Star Wars thing. In universe, though, why the fuck is this guy just like Han Solo? Yeah. What the fuck is happening?
Do you think there'll be a spin-off book where he's, like, Han Solo's biggest fan?
I think he dies or something, though.
No, but before that.
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
it's probably like a Disney book.
Yeah, it's a Disney book about here's why this guy, he's actually, like, the biggest fan of Han Solo.
I'm sure William C. Dietz wrote it. Like, whatever.
He doesn't work anymore. No, it'll be Kevin J. Anderson.
Oh! Hey, man, he hits his deadlines. Sorry, we shoot on those two a lot. And for good reason.
We don't shoot on William C. Dietz enough.
You're right. That's why I picked him. I was going to go Evan J. Anderson, but I went for William C. Dietz because underutilized potential. But
the point is that
it's filler.
They can't get Harrison Ford.
No.
And we get this weird, this is in the same universe, so we have this mimetic, parody of the character we can't use because we can't get them in this.
Yeah,
it's really bad.
Weird.
It's really bad.
So episode 1 of season 2, we go and there's cool graffiti on the wall. There's walking down this dingy alleyway. There's street lights that are very bright, but everything around is very dark. There's eyes in there, and I'm like, ooh, it's kind of like the Jawas in episode 4. Get it? Sorry, I hate when Star Wars.
I can already tell where this is going.
I already hate when Star Wars is like, hey, we're Star Wars. And I'm like, I fucking know. I saw the opening. I saw the. I know where I am.
That's what drove me fucking nuts about the sequel trilogy.
It's why I love reading through Warhammer 40k with you. Because they're never like that. They're never
no.
Oh, hey, remember? And it's like, no. They never do that bullshit. At least as far as we are into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I assume there's going to be novels that are like, oh, did you forget the grim darkness of the... It's like, no, I know.
That's the only thing they'll do is they'll mention the grim darkness.
They'll be like, oh, look how, over the top gory this is. It's like, I know, it's Warhammer,
Yeah.
Not that that's always bad, but it's that. I'm sure we'll get that, but nothing like this where, again, Force Awakens is a copy of A New Hope.
Yeah.
With just a few, things changed.
Yeah, changed up the homework a little bit when you copied it.
Yeah, they put the climaxes together instead of having the fight with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and then the Death Star run. Mm-hmm. They just mixed them.
Yeah.
That's all they did to, change the structure. And then Last Jedi was... God, an abomination. Rise of Skywalker was surprisingly worse, which is I can't believe.
When you have to fucking make when we have these two different things you have to make into. It's so you can't, man.
That's the coin flip that landed well on Solo and not well on Rise of Skywalker because they also reshot a lot of the movie and it ended up as an abomination.
Solo thankfully had to go off of the original films, while his Rise of Skywalker had to go off of fucking Force Awakens and Last Jedi. So I'm sorry.
That's true.
Listen, Rise of Skywalker, I remember before it was going to come out, I was like, it's going to suck. People were like, you don't know that? And I'm like, they're going off of Force Awakens and Last Jedi. There's no way it can be good.
Because I even entertain, maybe this will be the best of the sequel trilogy if I just ignore Force Awakens and Last Jedi and pretend this is the only thing that exists. It didn't even reach that. So, and in fact, tried to fight with The Last Jedi, which on one hand is
I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate that, but also it makes the fact that it's a trilogy even worse.
Yeah.
Because Return of the Jedi didn't shit on Empire Strikes Back all throughout it.
So we get this little Jawa callback, which I hate in Star Wars when they just call back shit. That's what you're trying to say. It goes to this fucking fighting. There's a boxing ring. There's wrestling or whatever. It's the fucking green guards from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
All right.
The Gamorreans. Yeah.
There's this big puppet guy. It's John Leguizamo.
Oh shit!
I mean, I like that because I like John Leguizamo.
It's great. But
I was like, okay, it's pretty good, I guess. Wait, let me show you a picture real quick. You can't see this, but
do you remember when I told you that John Leguizamo was Clown in the live-action Spawn?
Yeah, this fucking guy. This fucking guy.
Cyclops.
This Cyclopean guy. Sorry, brought it back to Warhammer.
I think isn't that the guy? Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, so it's this dude, and he's talking to Mando about Mando trying to find out how he can find more Mandalorians to help him on his quest because he has this righteous quest. Mandalorians will help him. He's also trying to find the Mandalorians that escaped from the planet in season 1 during the big cool episode 3, and the guy betrays him. Obviously, Mando kicks everybody's ass. Gets the information that there's a Mandalorian on Tatooine. And,
okay.
and Mando is like, I should just call him Jin. Jin Jerkin. I should say Jin because it'd be trying to say talking about the Mandalorians and talking about the Mandalorian.
That's why people call him Mando.
Yeah, people in the universe call him Mando too, but it's just he's I guess in that sector he's the the Mandalorian of that area. So
so the Mandalorians are almost like Green Lanterns.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but not as good. I'm gonna get heat for that.
Oof.
Listen, man, I'm sorry. The show. So Jin, gets information about what other Mandalorians on Tatooine. There's Mandalorian on Tatooine, and he's like, I was just at Tatooine. I go there all the time. There's no Mandalorians on Tatooine. And the guy's like, yes, there is. I swear my fucking life. He's like, okay, John Leguizamo. All right. He has him like tied up under one of the streetlights, and he's like, oh, but don't kill me. He's like, I won't kill you. And then he walks away, and the guy's like, wait, calm me down. The guy's never part of the deal. And the light, and then he shoots the light out, and then all the glowy eyes get near him. You hear John Leguizamo screaming, and then da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum-ba. I love the score though; it's very good. So he goes to Tatooine, and then we meet the ship lady from episode 5, who serviced his ship in that episode and was sort of like the home base for him, who took care of the baby. And she's all like, "Oh, the baby!" And then like there's little pit droids. From episode 1.
Yeah.
And they're going to work on his ship. And she's like, no, don't do it. Remember, he doesn't like droids. And he's like, it's fine. They need a tune-up because because last season he met up with Taika Bot, who changed his whole opinion on droids because Taika Bot saved him like 3 different times. Now he's all kind of like, maybe I like droids. And I'm like, Jin, can you make up your fucking mind? Because in flashbacks to season 1, fucking like, Confederate droids almost they kill this whole family. The big like
the big, super battle droids.
Yeah, they fucking gunned down his family in front of him
in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
And that's when the Mandalorians came in and saved him. So that's why he's a Mandalorian.
So he doesn't like droids.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, wow, you that's a good part of his character. Where I'm like, wow, his hatred of droids like has like a very good reason. And it's rooted in like the prequels.
Yeah, no, that's just like, that's really good.
That's really good. I was like, holy shit, Mandalorian. But, then he had an encounter with Jesus Taika Bot, so it's fine now. Your face died.
I was enjoying myself for a moment.
And so he's like, I'm going to go find a Mandalorian in this place. And she's like, oh, that place is not a place anymore because when the Empire fell, it got, I don't know, bullshit. So he goes and finds it, and he finds out the Mandalorians there's called like the Marshal or whatever. That's the episode name, by the way.
Oh, the Marshal.
The Marshal.
It's a Western.
Yes.
You get it?
When he goes into town, it's very much like an old Western town when the new guy walks in.
Yeah.
He goes to the fucking saloon.
Yeah, he goes.
Gets like a drink.
Everyone turns around and looks at him.
When the Marshal like comes in, it's like, ooh, like again, I like the Western shit in the Mandalorian. I think that's like the best thing about the show is like, they're trying to be a Western. That's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah. I honestly, that's the big sell when I heard about it initially, because like, it's a show about a Mandalorian. It's like, oh, Boba Fett? Nope. And I'm like, okay.
But hey, it's like a Western.
But it's like a Western. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
Okay. Also, it's, Oberyn Martell.
Well, I mean, in season 2, maybe, but I know in season 3, it's not.
Oh, yeah?
Did you hear the news?
No.
He wants Manda to remove his helmet, and Jon Favreau and George Lucas were like, no, and he tried to go around their backs.
Wow.
To Kathleen Kennedy, and then now they're gonna. He's like, oh, this takes up so much time. I don't like the outfit, so he's gonna be recording the lines. Have the stuntman do it.
Oof.
So, yeah,
I don't like that.
It's unfortunate
because he's really good character acting with his motions. So
yeah,
that's why I like that they picked an actual actor to do it.
Man, if
Carl Urban, I know
I'm not Pedro Pascal, but I'd be like Carl Urban. Like if they're like, hey, you get to be this iconic like type of character from Star Wars, I'd be like, I don't care if you never see my face. Gwendolyn Christie did it in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
and Pedro Pascal's going like.
To be fair, he has to do way more filming than she did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's
like, come on now.
That doesn't even compare.
Come on. So the Marshal walks in. It's Boba Fett, right? It's Boba Fett. Got the armor and everything, but it's a bit weird. Sits down, takes off the helmet. Helmet gets set on the table. Pan up. Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, Deadwood, bitch. I was like, okay, this is good casting. I like this. And he's like, hi, my name is whatever the fuck it was. I don't know, man. It was some fucking Star Wars name, like Jabal Khan Gudag, I don't know, fucking
Tarkson or
made
something.
up bullshit. Like, fucking just be fucking Steve. I don't care. Have a fucking normal, like, Ben, Luke, all these people with weird ass fucking name Jin Jarkin. Like, who the fuck are you?
It comes from Tugloom
and
and
9. If you don't know who 9 is, you're not a real fucking Star Wars fan.
That's actually true.
That's my gatekeeping.
Yeah. No, you know, there's some neckbeards that are really like at every turn they will try to explain to you, and those are the worst types of people. Like if you want to do it on one topic,
yeah.
So you know, we just do it on that one thing.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know who 9 is? Wrong. And then we're just really nice to them the rest of the time.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not real gatekeeping. It's just like, but if you know who 9 is, you're in.
You're in.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he basically was dying in the desert and was saved by Jawas, and he bought off this armor from them. And I'm like, oh, neat. Okay.
Right.
Well, it's a very good way of saying, like, hey, Boba could be dead, could be alive,
Yeah.
but his armor's here. So maybe he made it out. Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. All right. I'm like, well, that's a kind of cool way to kind of nod to Boba Fett without having like Boba Fett be there. Because like,
yeah.
It's like Darth Maul, where it's like for fans, we speculated, oh, what if Maul lived? But like, we didn't need to know, because like the fans,
sure.
That's kind of the part of being a fan, is like saying like, hey, so like maybe this happened.
I feel like another issue is that nowadays creators are way too easily giving into like the theory crafting.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, we need to tell the story and answer everything, and it's like, no, but it was cool that we didn't know.
Yeah, it was fun to think of like, well, what happened here? Like, remember like an episode like, you know, before the prequels came out, basically, when it was like, and what was the time before? Like, you know, and then and then when the prequels came out, we're done. We're like, well, what happened in the middle? You know, it's just the that's why Dark Souls is so good.
It is.
It's because like we're always kind of like, but what about this?
There's always those
like, who
games,
is the furtive pygmy so easily forgotten?
Those games, and Dark Souls 3 has kind of a bad problem with this, where they try to like answer things from Dark Souls 1, and it's my biggest criticism. But like, yeah, those games have this amazing ability to go, there's always going to be something to make you wonder, and like, that's you don't know. There's so many details that like your version in your head is so much cooler than what we could do.
That's why horror movies are great, man.
Yeah,
that's why I loved Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor, where it's like you're watching it and like you see like the ghosts in the background, you're like, and then you pan away and you're like, yeah, but like, I know I can't see it on the camera now, but that means like there's probably more everywhere. Then you kind of get really suspicious of everything around you. Yeah. And you get really paranoid, and you're constantly looking for them, and you're like, oh god, like there could be one here, and like, did I see one? I don't know. And you're like, I mean, yeah, so the idea of like having the viewer participate in the creation is very important.
I agree.
So Star Wars starting to answer these questions is like a bit like,
and it happened in the old EU as well.
Yeah, but that wasn't like widespread. So like the neckbeards knew, well, actually this happened. But now like the public is and now that it's widespread, it's like it's worse.
It's like how Darth Maul coming back was originally like one short comic that was not used in episode 3, but like neckbeards knew about it, and everyone was like, oh, old wounds, man. What a classic like comic of like Darth Maul fighting old Ben. And then it was like, we're putting it in the Clone Wars that we market to kids, and it's like,
we're putting in Rebels and market to kids.
I'm not saying it wasn't good, because it was Sam Witwer, and Darth Maul showing up is when Clone Wars actually started getting good.
You're right.
Like beforehand it was kind of trash.
His arc is pretty great.
So that you kind of lose a little something. You kind of lose a little bit of that enjoying that you have like this obscure detail that points to your theory being correct.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, I watched this on Newgrounds. This like flash animation of like Darth Maul coming to kill Luke. He finds out, and Obi-Wan like protecting him. Yeah, like and I remember like I was like, fuck that, man. What if that happened? It'd be so cool. Yeah. But now that I'm older, I'm like, don't fucking touch it. don't do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things in franchises where you just got to know when to stop, because there's certain points where it's like, I just don't want to know.
Yeah,
I don't need to know anymore about what's going on.
Yeah. So like, also when you say neckbeard, when we say it, it's very endearing.
It's affectionate. Yeah,
it's very affectionate.
The traditional definition in the old message board eras.
Yeah. That's so if anyone gets bent out of shape, No,
Shilsky. Yeah. Neckbeards means you can kind of be an over-explaining asshole sometimes, but overall I have affection for your commitment to art.
Precisely. So where the fuck was I?
You were talking
Timothy
about
Oliphant
and how Boba Fett could be alive.
Yeah. So then the episode kind of goes up in a different track where, like, he's like, "Oh, you're not a Mandalorian." Din Djarin says this. I need to take that armor. And he's like, well, this armor's been helping me quite a bit. It helped me through a lot of scrapes, kind of how I keep order around these parts, because I'm the one to it's Timothy
Deadwood.
It's Deadwood. Have you seen Deadwood? Guess what? That's this episode. It's Deadwood. Which is great, which is, like, that's how you do it. Like, if John Wayne was still alive, he'd be like some old sheriff in an episode or something. Like, yeah. that is what the show is. Like, hey, remember Westerns? Yeah. Good shit. I'm waiting for Ian McShane to show up.
Give it time.
Give it time. Season 3, man.
No, they had to choose between him and Giancarlo Esposito, and
that's a tough call, but
he's not in season 2 yet, so
he's gonna be. Come on now. But so they're having this little back and forth. It's like, are we gonna do this right here? And Jin's like, yeah, we're doing this right here. And then the other have this cool, like, Western cool guy standoff. Then the ground shakes, and I'm like, oh, it's Tremors. Because there's this crate dragon going through the town, and it's causing all the woo. And then basically the episode from here on out is, okay, I'll give you this Mandalorian armor if you help me kill the crate dragon, because that's the thing that's really fucking up this town. So if that's out of the way, I won't really need this anymore, so you can have it, but you need to help me. And Jin's like, fine. So the plot of this episode went from very, very stealthily. I didn't quite check it at first, because I was just kind of wrapped up in Timothy Oliphant being there. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Man, he's aged like fine wine. He looks amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little faggy. But I just can't help it. So it suddenly went from go to Tatooine, meet with the Mandalorian, he'll help you find your people, to I'm not a Mandalorian, I have the armor, you'd want that armor, but you have to help me do a thing first.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the episode kind of goes typical, like, okay, he goes and sees the Great Dragon, runs into Tusken Raiders, he can speak, Din Djarin can speak Tusken, Tusken Raiders in the town have been on bad terms, he makes them work together to kill the Great Dragon, and then they're gonna live in peace, and I'm like, alright, this is a Western, I get it.
Yeah.
The village people have to go help the Indians to defeat, like, the big fucking bear that's killing everybody in town. I get it. I've seen this movie. All right? Like, I'm sure John Wayne was in it. Like, so, I didn't know Native American. I was speaking like Western. That was the bit.
Yeah.
I hope no one's offended. I was speaking like, it's like when you say, like, that one word. When you're speaking. Sorry. Shut up now.
Wait, which one?
I'm not gonna talk anymore.
Okay.
I got really into that character.
That's okay. Thanks, Kevin Smith.
I was say Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, or him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the episode. And then, like, Timothy Oliphant's like, oh, thanks, man, for all your help. Here's the armor, like, I don't need it, but I'm glad you brought peace to me and the Tusken Raiders, and he killed the Crate Dragon, and bada bing, bada boom. And it's like, okay, cool. And then, like, he's driving away on his little speeder back to the chick, right?
Right.
Because, mission failed. We'll get him next time. No Mandalorian. So he's going to go back home. So, yeah, it's also like a 54-minute episode.
It sounds like you told me, and I'm like, there's no way that's 30 minutes.
That's 54 minutes.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. Because
when season 1 was average like 30 minutes, too, which is really weird.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
So on his way back, he's driving away. He has the Boba Fett armor on his thing. We have this pull-out shot of him, like, riding, like, side-scrollers, like, and then there's a silhouette. And I'm like, please be Tamara Morrison. Please be Tamara Morrison. And that's the fan in me, right? That's like that's not the, what when I say that, that's not the creative writer in me, the storyteller. That's just the pure fan glee of like, I want my member berries to be happy. Please show me Tamara Morrison. And then they do. And I'm like, like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just like that moment of like when you make like wouldn't it be amazing if this happened? And then it does. And for the like beginning of it, you're like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But now that I've had, time to ruminate on that, every minute after that moment, I went less to more like, what implications does this have for everything else? And that's again the problem of this sort of thing when you try to address these questions that have been questioned since like the 80s.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Like, so it would have been one thing if it was a silhouette, and you can kind of go, who was that?
Yeah.
And then you can go, well, that could have been Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been Boba Fett. It might not be. But you never know. And so that's like, and like, I feel like if you were like, I don't know, that would have been a better story to tell. But so now I'm sitting here like, okay.
So this is episode 1.
Yeah. So they show Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison. And I'm like, all right. So again, the plot was go to Tatooine, meet a Mandalorian, get information, find your people, help the baby. Get back to his people. Got it. Sidetrack with this Mandalorian thing because of your armor. You can do it. It's okay. You can do it. It's okay.
Okay.
because of your armor. And then, all right, I get that. You're a very steadfast person with morals that hold to your code. We had a fun little side adventure with Timothy Olyphant. You love to see him, so that's fine. But then you showed me Boba Fett, and I'm like, okay. Is that... And so there's two things. There's two ways you can go from this point. Is that there to make you go, Boba Fett? Or is that there to set up Boba Fett for more things? And I'm like, and because I'm watching it as it comes out. So in the week in the middle, I'm like, okay, oh yeah, Boba Fett, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. This better pay off, because the payoff is because
oh no, this is getting worse.
And I'm gonna say this. I think they thought the payoff was, hey, look, Boba Fett.
Yes.
Where I'm like, that's the setup.
That's not even the setup. That's like the
allusion to setup.
Yeah, that's the prologue to the setup. It's like
I'm like,
that's a shot of him.
Yeah, that's a shot, and I'm like, that can't be it. Next episode opens up, and he's driving on the speeder, and I'm like, oh fuck, Tamara Morrison's gonna fucking ambush this bitch, get his fucking armor back, and I'm like, yeah, do it, conflict, go, like this. Because, like, for me as a storyteller, I'm like, all right, good. Okay, you set up Boba Fett in episode 1, start episode 2, we have to pay that off, because that's the cliffhanger that you...
Yeah.
That is the cliffhanger.
In classic cliffhanger television, you have to answer whatever the cliffhanger is, and if you don't, you suck.
Yeah, you suck. So he's driving, and I'm like, yeah, okay. So he's driving along, going crazy. Then we're seeing all these people, like, setting up traps. Like, they hear him from afar, they're setting up stuff in the ground, and I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay. And like he's speeding faster and they're setting up more frantically, like getting like stuff hidden under the sand and like setting up things, and I'm like, good, yeah. And in my head I'm like, this is Boba Fett's gang, like this is like his crew, like they're gonna fucking ambush him, they're gonna get the armor.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking A. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So trap gets sprung. He's on like a also I forgot to mention this. Timothy Olyphant's speeder is like half of a pod racer engine that he's built a seat to, and I was like jerking myself off like, I remember that.
I fucking love Star Wars.
Not with the little D3. But so I'm like, yeah, okay. Hits it, speeder like, when a dog is running with a stick and it's like the long way out and it tilts down a little bit and it goes, whoop! Yes. That's what happened. That's the best way I could describe it.
Oh, thank you.
And it spins over, it fucking explodes, the baby goes flying, which they love to abuse the Baby Yoda in this fucking show. Gets punched, kicked, thrown.
It's because they know that people love Baby Yoda.
It's because like moms will go, oh no, that's the baby!
It makes people go, oh,
that's the baby. Sorry. Your face right now.
You're just like, oh the Baby Yoda got hit, and I'm like, yeah, he's fine.
They're not gonna kill him off right now.
Not gonna kill him off.
Chill.
Like, if this show had those balls, I'd be scared. Like, if it was Game of Thrones, maybe. But
yeah,
like,
maybe. The kid hits a fucking rock, is bleeding out, can't do anything.
Yeah, like, he doesn't, you know.
No, alright. But, so he fights off the crew that they're all attacking him. There's a Jawa, brings out like a gigantic gun. It's funny. I'm like, haha. Fights them all, and then eventually the Jawa like has Baby Yoda with a knife. And he's like, hey, I'll give you anything. Just put down the kid, okay? Let's go. And so then the Jawa asks for Jin Jarkin's jetpack.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, okay, here you go. There you are. The kid runs away. He grabs the jetpack and starts running off. He hits a button. The jetpack goes flying up. The thing falls. The jetpack comes down and lands. And then the next shot we have is the Mandalorian, Jin Jarkin, carrying everything back to town. And I'm like, where's Boba Fett? Like, well, wait a minute. Wait. No, wait, where'd Boba Fett go?
Like, you had such a more... That is so funny to me, because that is literally like you, like, going into something going like, if you just do the simple outline that I've made in my head of like, oh, it's the prologue and Boba Fett's gang, and then the Mandalorian's on the ground and Boba Fett's standing over him. It's really cool and intimidating. Like, oh, he's going to be the main villain. And it's like, no, we didn't do that very basic, like, classic storytelling device that is simple but works. We're just going to have him not be there. And it's just a random thing.
That is the moment. The fucking moment I knew, okay, this is going to be bad. Like, it's one thing when episode 2 of season 1 was just filler, because it had a point where it was like, okay, we had to show off that all right, Mandalorian has to go to a low spot and like a low place personally, lose all of his shit, have to fight to get it back. But the main point of it's going to be the kid has the Force.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, episode 2 is mostly filler. The point is the kid can use the Force. So while I'm like, this moves slow as dog shit, it has a point.
Okay, yeah.
You will find this episode does not.
Oh.
And it's like 45 minutes, whereas episode 2 of season 1 was like 20 something.
Yeah.
So like, buckle your fucking seatbelts for this ride we're about to take. So he goes back to the town. By the time he's back, it's nighttime. And Boba Fett's not there.
I was hoping you would be. I was like, oh, please now.
Anything. He goes into Mos Eisley Cantina, and Boba Fett's not there. And he goes and meets with the ship lady. And I guess he knows she's there.
Yeah.
There is no, like... She's there, I guess. Okay. Maybe he checked with the droids first, and why didn't he put down all of his shit? He's still carrying it. So how does she know she's in the cantina? Anyway, she's playing cards with a big ant person. And IMDb trivia is all like, oh, the ant person.
By the way, if we didn't set it properly, I have not watched more than the first, like, 2 episodes and then the last half of the finale of season 1.
Yeah.
So I know nothing.
Yeah, so it's this chick. It's the same one from episode 5. No, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's there and she's playing cards with the ant person who IMDb is all like, oh, they were in the other Tatooine episode in the bar. And I'm like, oh, wow, great. So they had the prop lying around, so they used it. They didn't like plan this. They just had the prop lying around. They were like, oh, I guess we can do this. Oh, it's COVID. We have to shoot the scene with only one person without wearing a mask. Oh, no. Anyway.
You just cucked Jon Favreau a little bit.
Man, listen, he made Chef.
Oof. Yeah.
He's allowed.
Oh.
He's allowed to get cucked.
I like how Jon Favreau did Iron Man, and it was like the best movie he will ever make.
Yeah.
And it's like everything he does afterwards is like, I really want you to give me like enough something great, but like I think Iron Man is just as good as you're gonna get, man. And that's fine. That's great, but
anyway, so basically like
go on.
She wants the Mandalorian Jin Jarkin to take this passenger. No, so the ant guy knows of where there's Mandalorians, but there's this chick who wants passage there. This frog lady. I'm gonna Google it. Hold on, so you can see the frog lady.
Okay.
Mandalorian. Let me just put frog. Oh, look at Timothy Olyphant though. Sexy man.
Yeah, he's
She looks like that. She's a frog lady.
Oh, okay.
which the moment she showed up, I was like, I remember that one scene in the first season when the Baby Yoda ate a frog. Hope that doesn't come back. Oh, it comes back.
What?
It comes back throughout the whole episode. Did you remember when you shared memes on Facebook of Baby Yoda eating the frog? Disney saw that. They took notes. And they're back with a vengeance.
Oh, no.
So for some reason he has to bring this frog lady along because, and she's carrying with her spawn in this like jar, this Star Wars jar on her back with some blue liquid in it and blue milk or whatever. I don't fucking know. And so like, basically, yeah, he has to take her with him. She doesn't speak English, doesn't speak Huttese, doesn't speak anything he speaks. Has her spawn with her. All right, whatever. So they're on their way to this place. Now, again, we are still trying to find Mandalorians to talk to. We're off still the first scene of the first episode. I want you to keep that in the back of your head. Also, there's still no Boba Fett. So, he's going there and they're traveling along. They don't speak. They can't speak to each other. So he's trying to talk to her. She's all like, I'm a frog lady. Well, I don't know. And she has like she's up in the cockpit. She doesn't have her eggs with her for some reason. That's because we had to set up a fucking joke. They're down in the holding thing. And Din Djarin goes down, finds Baby Yoda eating one of the eggs. And by the way, the fucking lady really stressed this before this is like the last of her kind. They can only spawn during this certain like solar thing and this specific planet, and her husband's there, and like, it's the last of her fucking kind. He has to go there so that her race will live on. And Baby Yoda is eating the fucking kids. Because do you remember that one time in season 1 when Baby Yoda ate the frog?
Oh god, see, this is what I predicted. I remember when Baby Yoda memes were coming out, I'm like, they're just gonna like really Jack attack this. Like in Incredibles 2, when they were like, do you remember that short film Jack attack? I'm like, yeah, it was like 5 minutes, it was great. That's the whole fucking movie. And I'm like, oh god!
It's that.
The memes were not meant for this.
Throughout the episode, 4 or 5 times, Baby Yoda eats some of the eggs. And Jim's like, no, you can't do that. No, that's not for eating. No, bad. But they're flying around, and they get stopped by, well, they're not rebels anymore.
I guess it's the Republic.
The New Republic, I guess?
Yeah, the New Republic.
Yeah. Unless we go off of Last Jedi or Force Awakens, where they're still called rebels, even though they're part of the fucking government.
But they're not. It's very complicated and dumb.
That's like if, like, there was like an up. That's, I don't know. It's like, it's so stupid.
Well, listen, I don't want to dive down the hole into Force Awakens.
I know, I'm sorry.
Doing the whole, the Resistance has to ask the Republic to fight the First Order, which is apparently weakened.
So X-Wings show up.
Okay.
And the actors who play the X-Wing pilots, one of them is a 501st cosplayer. Because if you didn't know this, at the end of season 1, they didn't have enough Stormtrooper outfits. So they got the 501st guys that can be Stormtroopers.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
That's right. I remember saying that was really cool.
That's cool. The other one is Dave Filoni.
Oh, God.
So they're basically doing the whole, like, hey, do you have, like, your papers or whatever? Like that whole scene. And they're like, yeah, all right, yeah, we can wait. And Marilyn's like, oh yeah, I can't find them actually. Oh, we'll have to come to the nearest planet with us so we can verify. Oh, hey, I have them right here. Like it's like that whole scene where it's like they took the scene from like A New Hope where everything's fine, thank you, how are you? But it's like a whole scene.
Okay.
So it's funny.
Right. Yeah, it's
funny. It's a good time. I will give them that. That joke was funny. I liked it. And because like it's even funnier because it's the Republic, so they're technically good guys. Yeah. So it's like, well, I can't blame them. My craft's actually like pre-Empire, so I don't have that. Oh yeah, well the certain it's a good scene.
That's so much better satirically than anything they do with it in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fucking good. So then like eventually he asks him this weird question about like, was he on some planet with a Captain Davin? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the Mandalorian like just is quiet for a second and then just fucking like starts gunning it. And they're like, ah, shit, we got a runner. And that's when it cuts to their clothes. I'm like, it's Dave Filoni. I don't have a fucking face. I'm surprised he doesn't have his fucking hat on. Piece of shit. I love you, Dave. You're great. You're doing your best, kid.
I don't blame you for Rebels.
I don't blame you for Rebels. You tried. That Darth Maul fight was really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So they chase him throughout this planet, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is fun, I guess. Like, ooh, and there's running and
screaming.
And they go to this ice planet, and I'm like, I'm gonna do some Han Solo shit and hide in something. They do that, and they lose him. But the whole time they're like, hey, guy, dude, come on, we don't want to shoot you, please, come on, dude, come on, please, hey, stop. And I'm like, because it's funny because they're good guys technically, so they can't.
They're trying not to. So
they can't just kill him. So they're like, come on, man, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, this is putting over the Republic pretty hard.
Yeah, no, that's great. They're like paladins.
Yeah, this whole scene's funny. I'm like, this is good. Like, this is fun Star Wars shit. I was liking this.
Yeah.
I was hating that Boba Fett wasn't there, but I was liking it. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. Maybe he'll show up later. It's fine. So they land. They lose Din Djarin. I like saying his name. Din Djarin. And they land, and then they're like chilling, and they're like, whew, we made it. All right, cool. And then like the ice breaks and they fall to this lower area and the ship gets fucked.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh no.
They're gonna do the Wampa, aren't they?
They're gonna be here the whole episode, aren't they? It's gonna be the one bit in Empire where they hid and then all the shit attacked the ship, but like for a whole episode, isn't it? And it was.
Oh shit.
So like really dumb drama of like they're stranded there, and then the chick, like, the frog lady hacks, like, a robot and starts talking about, like, you need to keep your promises to the Mandalorian, get me out of here. Like, you promised me that you get me to my place. Like, shit, alright, I guess I have a code or whatever. And starts trying to fix the ship, and then, like, there's a big fucking hole in the side, and, like, he's trying to, like, stop this leaking thing, and then, like, oh, Baby Yoda, don't eat the eggs, stop. No, police, murder.
Oh, God.
It's the whole. I mean, I'm kind of skipping over when they happen because I forget because it happens so frequently that just if I stop talking for a second, assume that Baby Yoda ate a baby.
Okay.
And then Baby Yoda kind of like comes out there to see the repairs, and then he's like, "Oh no, go! Like, hey, no, you can't like do that. Stop!" And Baby Yoda walks away, and he's like, "Oh no, wait, come back here!" And then like he goes into the ship, and then the chick's gone. He's like, what the fuck? And goes and finds her like in this like goes through a lot, like there's like some like ice cave tunnels, and finds one of this underground like hot springs, basically like bathing, and all the eggs are out and about like with her. And I'm like, okay, you're stupid. Why are you doing this? He told you to stay put. You're on an alien planet. You have no idea what it is. You're a frog in this cold. You dumb bitch. And so this episode's so uneventful. I feel like I just got to the end of it. Like, holy fuck, what the fuck happened in this episode?
Not much. Just some comedy.
Yeah. Some of it good, some of it not so good. So then, like, Baby Yoda goes, and, like, he goes to try to eat an egg, and Din Djarin is like, stop, no. And Baby Yoda kind of, like, scoffs and walks away, and then finds, like, these, like, little, like, almost, like, alien eggs just kind of popped everywhere. And I'm like, did he get fucking, like, face huggered? Holy shit. And, like, he, like, breaks this egg open and gets really CGI for a minute. It's because it's Baby Yoda puppet. They use a puppet the whole time, which is good. Then when it starts pulling it apart, it's like too intricate to be the puppet, so it's, like, clearly CGI because its movements are too, like, fluid.
No.
And I'm like, oh, you had all of COVID to fix that. You fucks.
I just love that's gonna be the new just brazen accusation. You had all this time to do it. You had
all of COVID, you assholes. Breaks it open. There's like this weird thing in there, like fucking eats it, and I'm like, do you remember that time in season 1 when Baby Yoda ate the frog? Like, oh my god, I get it. Like, holy shit, why is it this episode where all of a sudden he's a fucking, like, food freak? It's a fucking, welcome to my mukbang. Like, fucking goddamn shit, dude. Like, what the fuck's happening? Eats it. All the other eggs start waking up and popping out little fucking spiders. And then like, they're like, oh shit, oh no, we gotta go. Then the big spider shows up, and it's like, I think some monster from Rebels or something. I don't care.
Okay.
Like, it's a big, like a sucker face and like grayish spider thing. Hold on. Let me look it up. You'll know. You watch Rebels because you hate yourself. Let me see.
I didn't watch all of it.
Spider. This thing. This big boy. Does that look familiar to you?
Oh yeah, I think that's also in Jabba's palace.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's in Rebels. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. If you looked it up with us, thank you. So I'm not going to put it in the video because I'm not going to edit this.
Remember, Sally, when I promised?
I'm not going to edit this.
That's right, Major. You did. I lied.
So, they're being, the chick has to gather up. Well, they've been gathering up the eggs and putting it back into the fucking the container, but now like she's like in the pool still, like watching the big thing show up, and I'm like, lady, get dressed, go. Why are you standing there? And then it's the laziest thing where she turns, tongue flicks her clothes to her. Then the next shot just comes out with just fully clothed, and I'm like, you didn't want to show the puppet changing to the puppet with clothes on, did you? You fucking hacks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's bad.
They run away from it. They're shooting it. Pew pew. Okay. They get to the ship. They're in the ship. Of course, the ship has a big hole in it, so they all get in. They get to the cockpit, and they're like trying to fight it off. And the chick shoots one that's about to kill the Baby Yoda. And I'm like, you shouldn't do that. This kid is killing your kids, but whatever.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then like they're there, and it's like, oh fuck. And like they're about to, and like Mando like threw like a detonator into the at the spider earlier, and it died. And then like I was like, oh well, that's done. And then they're on the ship, and they're taking off. Like, I know there's not good hull integrity, but we gotta just get the fuck out of here. They're like starting to fly up, and the spider jumps down on it, crashes it back down. And I'm like, oh fuck. And then all of a sudden, like you hear like laser fire happening, and the big spider gets like fucking killed. Laser fire everywhere, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, slave one, come on. It's the X-Wing pilots.
Fuck. God!
And every turn you had is in the palm of your fucking hands! Just show me Boba Fett! Do something with him! Tamara Morrison was there for one fucking day! God damn it, man. I'm like, it was so easy. It was so easy. Just be like, where's my armor, Mandalorian? Doo-doom, episode ends. You're like, oh, fuck, they're gonna do it. No, nothing. X-Wing pilots show up with the most coolest fucking, and by the way, it's both like two fucking like overweight guys with fucking like they're out of the cockpits shooting. They're not using
what?
Yeah, they're out of the cockpits with like assault rifles shooting the spiders, not inside the things.
Oof.
With the most coolest like fucking music you've ever heard, like really overly bombastic, like like Jesus just fucking came down from the heavens to save them, and they're like with their guns like cocked up like fucking Western style, but it's like some two fucking 40-year-old fat guys, like no offense, but like it's just not like an epic look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also I don't know you fucking people, and they're like, it's the worst thing I've ever heard. Not really, that's of course an over-exaggeration, but it's for the purpose of comedy, you fucks. The worst thing I've ever heard in my life, literally. And they're like, you Mandalorian, you have arrest. You have wanted. Oh fuck! I'm fucking this up. I'm fucking this up. They didn't fuck it up. I'm fucking it up. They also had a chance to do multiple takes. You have arrest warrants out in like whatever systems and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah. What are you gonna do about it? It's like, you've also shown that you're like a good character and you have good strong morals and you help people out or whatever the fuck floofy Disney bullshit. So we're gonna let you go. Bye.
What?
And then like the episode ends.
No, wait,
but only before they're like, all right, so we're gonna just fly just in the cockpit, and we're gonna get out of here to the nearest station. So, hold on tight, guys. And then like, you know, Baby Yoda's staring at the chick in her basically her like carrier womb, and staring at the babies, and she like kind of like tugs it closer to herself. And then Baby Yoda just turns and then just plops one in his mouth. Then the episode ends. Plops one of the eggs. I guess he grabbed it at some point and held it the whole time they ran and waited for now to...
This is revenge for me telling you about Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
You're just disappointing me by describing this thing.
So that's where I'm at with The Mandalorian. Ba-dum. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum-ba.
So it only has 3 episodes. Or...
Only 2 are out so far. Yeah, that's episode 1 and 2. So so in the way of plot, here's what's happened. Hey, Jin Jerkin, there's Mandalorians you have to find. Go do that.
I'm Boba Fett's here.
And I guess Boba Fett was there one time.
That's the plot.
That's the plot so far. 2 episodes of probably 8. And so far, we are literally have made 0 progress. It's like season 2 started, Mandalorian saw the main quest, went to the right planet, and then decided to fuck around.
Yeah.
And do everything but the main plot. Which is great if you have 24 episodes to fucking kill, but you don't. You have 8.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So in short, I'm really fucking disappointed. Like, it started off really kind of cool. And I'm like, okay, I can handle like an episode. Because again, if the first episode was just setting up Boba Fett as like a character,
yeah,
it would have been fine. I'm like, okay, all right, a little fillery, but it was fun. We learned more about the world. We showed like what happened because they established a thing where like, Timothy Oliphant's town was like under Imperial rule. Then when the Empire fell, they lost their protection because the police fucking got ganked.
Yeah.
And then fucking raiders, not Tusken Raiders, but like other guys came in and took over.
Right.
And made like a slave town for a bit till Timothy Oliphant, he escaped, grabbed one of the things off of the raiders' cars, goes in the desert. Turns out it's the capsules from Solo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's cool. And he buys the Boba Fett armor, and he comes back with the armor and kills them all and saves the town. And I'm like, wow, that shows like how everyone moved on after the Empire got destroyed, what it did to the universe. It shows what happened with Boba Fett. It gives us a cool town. And like this could have led to more things. And then they literally just fucking dropped the ball. They had it. They got past the ball. And they fucking dropped it in favor of fucking frog jokes. And I guess showing how cool Dave Filoni is.
That sounds really bad.
I'm like, oh, look, I killed the monster that was in my own show. I'm so cool. But,
God.
Like,
yeah, that sounds really bad.
Man, at every turn I was like, come on. That Boba Fett thing can't have been just it.
Dude, it's going to be the last episode.
Yeah, so, like, probably. So that's my problem with it is that, like...
The whole point was to make you watch every episode going, oh, is Boba Fett in this one? No. Watch
like,
the next one.
In good storytelling, like, that Boba Fett thing is the setup to a bigger thing, not, oh, it's just Boba Fett. Because, people saw that and just went, oh, it's Boba Fett, and then didn't think about the implications of what that meant. They just said, oh, look, it's Boba Fett. And they're like, yay, Baby Yoda, woo! And it's like, can you think for 5 fucking seconds, man? And you try? Like, it's really hard to watch media and have a fucking brain. It's really hard.
It kind of is.
I wish I could just watch this show and go, yay! I can't.
Yeah. But I would say that's just because you care more. Because I feel like people who just go, yay, they're usually the type who are just watching it for, like, the dopamine fix.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when you and I watch something, this is not saying, like, the majority of people are like that, but there are people like that who exist. I feel like you and I, like, honestly, like, and nerds in general, we really actually care.
Yeah.
We want it to be good.
I see, that's the thing. When people are like, Sal, you just hate things. Like, I don't want to. I wish I could like everything. but they have to fucking earn that.
It makes it more rewarding when they do get it right.
Yeah.
If I thought everything was great and I was never disappointed, that'd be fine. But now I realize just how great you can be now that I understand like a shitty movie from a really great movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And just like, it's just this writing is like, there's good things in The Mandalorian still. But like, so far I'm like really scared about where this is going.
If it's going anywhere, it sounds like it's just kind of doing random. This feels like the Clone Wars early on when it was very episodic.
Yeah,
but not as good because these episodes are getting longer.
And also, Clone Wars didn't like have the pretense of being an ongoing story. Like Clone Wars, it was fine that we have this random 2-parter about like Jar Jar Binks in his fucking hometown. Like that's fine because like that's what this show is.
Yeah,
they're not saying to you, hey, here's like where we're going.
Yeah.
Whereas Mandalorian is saying to you, hey, we have an end goal in mind. Let's get there. But is like taking the most like ass backwards side road you can think of. It's bad. It's like how I felt with season 1 where I was like, oh god, where's this fucking going?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? And then episode 3 happened and I was like, yay, so maybe that'll happen again. But like still, at least the filler episode 2 of season 1 was only like 20-something minutes. This is like double the length. And when less happened.
Again, so this is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Those are the two, like, pretty much.
I think he wrote and directed episode 2 as well. Let me.
I believe he did.
Let me double check for you. You keep talking.
Yeah, Dave Filoni probably did. That doesn't surprise me because he does the Taika Waititi thing. Because he's like, oh, Taika Waititi does this, so I'm gonna do this because I'm Dave Filoni, and it's like, this is cringe, dude.
It is. Like once I recognized him, I was like, oh, bad move. Bad move. Like, I was like, oof. Rough, buddy. The Passenger. Ooh, that's 7. Ooh, that dip. Episode 1.
9.0 to 7.9.
I'm going to add to that in a sec.
He's rating it
a 3.
A 3-star.
Oh, I got to sign in. I'll do it later.
I will rate you later.
Directed by Peyton Reed, but written by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Guy did Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because, again, Ant-Man was, like, alright. Kind of didn't go anywhere, too. But it was, like, fun, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it led to one thing, the Deus Ex Machina that saves everyone in Endgame.
Hey, it led to Ant-Man 2, which is actually not that bad.
You say that, and I want to believe you.
Yeah, this is the scene where they just show up.
Boo.
Like, I have this big fighter, and you just shoot at the cockpit, I guess.
Again, it seems like, yeah, it's that early. I feel like Dave Filoni is in the cartoon world right now, where he's like, once 3 seasons go by, I'll start doing like a really multiple season long story arc. You know, it was kind of in season 3 when that started happening, and I feel like he's now going, oh, and Mandalorian season 3 will bring back Boba Fett, and it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that in this sort of a story when it's 8 episode seasons. That's absolutely bizarre. Like, when you have to do 24 episodes a season, I get it, but it doesn't, you know. I
have the actual quote of the speech he gives to the Mandalorian when he lets him go. This is the character Captain Carson Teva. We ran the tabs on the Razor Crest. You have an arrest warrant for the abduction of prisoner X7911. However, onboard security records show that you apprehend 3 priority culprits from the wanted register. Security records also show that you put your own life in harm's way to try to protect that of Lieutenant Davin from the New Republic Correctional Corps. Is this true? Am I under arrest? Technically, you should be, but these are trying times. What?
The writer does not give a fuck.
Like, in an early draft that was Boba Fett. And then someone said, no, you can't have him come back yet. But they already filmed like the other episodes. So like this is how they get out of that thing. Which is why when they cut over, they're just like awkwardly sitting there. Yeah. And they probably just dubbed over what Jim Jorkin was really going to say to Boba Fett or something. I don't know. Like, Who the fuck is Lieutenant Davin? I'm Googling this. This kind of pisses me off. Oh, that fucking guy? Really? His name? That was his fucking name? Oh my god, what a weird callback. That's the thing, is that, like, who the fuck remembers this fucking dude? If anyone who doesn't remember who Lieutenant Davin was will watch the show, remember the fucking prison episode? It was really cool. And, like, you know, fucking, who's this fucking face was there? That one guy who voices all the gruff people. Clancy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
He's there. And remember the one, like, security guy's like, stop right there, ooh. And then I was like, no, we shouldn't kill him. That guy.
Wow.
I guess he came back. Call back! That's a Star Wars Explained video right there. Who is Lieutenant Davin? 5 things you missed in The Mandalorian.
You know, I remember the point when everyone realized those channels sucked. The Star Wars Explained channels.
Yeah.
The not the good ones, but the really bad ones that were like, what did Palpatine think about Yoda? And it's like, Palpatine clearly shows a lot of hatred towards Yoda by trying to kill him. And it's like, yeah, I could have inferred that. Thanks.
Why is there an equipment section on his fucking StarWars.fandom.com wiki?
Bro, Wikipedia is the most detailed wiki. They list this shit for every character. Basically.
They have a category for eyes, by the way. Okay.
They used to have one for breasts, and that one had huge controversy.
Wow. There's a page on here that's like, eyes are a primary visual organ of many sentient animal species. Amazing. Who wrote that? Who was like, we gotta have an eye page, guys.
Wikipedia's insane, dude. They are the most thorough wiki that I know, honestly.
I can't believe this fucking guy came back. This fucking guy? Also, when they said Bothan 5, I was like, many Bothans died.
Bring us this information.
Anyway, sorry. All right, let's wrap up. I apologize, everybody. Yeah, in short, really bad opening to a season. And, like, when you're going up against the boys, because basically
I can't even believe it. They just fucking died, and the boys is done, but it's still beating them.
Like, it's the boys versus the Mandalorian. Essentially.
And the boys is winning.
Well, here's my biggest problem with The Mandalorian.
Because I feel like The Mandalorian got really overhyped in season 1, but now the drop-off is so huge that it's like...
Whereas the boys kept that momentum.
Oh yeah, the boys is like, no, but arguably now more people know about it.
Yeah.
Because when season 1 was out, it was kind of like a...
Yeah.
On the low, kind of like, oh, The Boys, it's this new show from Amazon. Whereas now everyone's like, oh, dude, The Boys.
The Boys.
So,
Dude, The Boys is so much better.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with The Mandalorian, season 2 anyway, that time between seasons was not very long.
No.
It wasn't. What? Like, when did you have the... Like, this is clearly like, they had an idea for the season, and we're like, oh shit, we gotta spread this a little bit.
Yeah, Disney Plus wants Disney wants another season pronto. This is the thing that is making us money and is popular.
So, like...
We need The Mandalorian. Like, literally, The Mandalorian is holding the corpse of Star Wars up on its shoulders in terms of people supporting it, and now not even that.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like to me, they were like, okay, well, we can't go to the plot too fast. So, like, episode, like, 4 or 5 will get good. You know what I mean? But, like, 3 is... probably gonna suck again.
I don't know, dude. I think maybe like at least the finale's got to be.
Well, because you know the finale is the episode that they thought about like years ago when they were pitching this show.
I assume it's just that Boba Fett's the bad guy, right?
Dude, every time I think that, they just pull out.
Because like I feel like that's a natural story where it's like, okay, so we didn't do a Boba Fett show. We weren't like that fan servicey. But we made a show with an original Mandalorian character who is now like defending someone. He's like a hero. And Boba Fett can still be that badass who doesn't really redeem himself that you remember.
Yeah.
But he's not the main character, so we don't have to pull punches.
That's right.
But I don't know. That doesn't seem to be the... Because that's what I would do. I'd be like, Boba Fett's like secondary main villain. Like he's like second to last villain. And you have a final villain beyond him because you need one. But like... He's like a major recurring.
I thought it was going to be Werner Herzog, and he got fucking memed.
Yeah, it's going to be Giancarlo Esposito as final villain. It's going to be... I guarantee you he's going to be in every last episode of every season, and he'll get something else that's ominous. Like, oh, he's got the Darksaber. Oh, he's got, like, this rare super weapon. Oh, he's got this animal that can block.
Imagine leaving off on that season 1 cliffhanger of the Dark... That's another thing, dude. The end season 1 cliffhanger, Darksaber. Thing you recognize as a Star Wars fan. Season 2 opening?
Nothing.
Don't talk about it. Dude, they keep doing this thing with the end episode with, hey, do you remember this? And then just don't talk about it anymore. Because that's the payoff for them. For them, the payoff is, it's there.
Yeah.
Clap.
Yeah.
And that's it. Do you, in 2 weeks, want to do this again?
Yeah, no, I want to get continuous updates on The Mandalorian.
This is a good way to
unedited, uncut, uncensored.
This is a good way to present the information because I'm just like spitting it at you.
And it's a very good way to receive it because now I don't have to watch it.
I think we should watch it for the lulz.
Yeah. If you want to watch them as they come out, I'll commit to that too. I don't guarantee I'll go back and watch one.
No. I got to tell you what's happening.
Okay.
I want to be the storyteller for you.
Okay.
I want to be the one to tell you, like how you told me, Rise of Skywalker. I'm the one to tell you Mandalorian.
Okay.
Edit that video, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to. It's going to be like 4 hours long.
Little tease, guys. Back when The Rise of Skywalker came out, I said to these guys, I'm not fucking watching it. And I still haven't.
He still hasn't.
I still hasn't.
He's seen a few clips and like video reviews.
Yeah, but that's it. And so what happened was set up like a dual camera system, a shot reverse shot of him and Nathan telling me the plot and me receiving it, but they also threw in fake things to see what I thought was real or not real.
And you couldn't tell.
And I couldn't tell sometimes.
No. What was great was the last 3 were all true, but you kept thinking it was fake. And I'm like, no, that happens.
Yeah, when I was denying.
And then you just were like, no, even when I think I'm in on it, I'm not.
So look out for that eventually. But that's like a 2-camera setup thing. It's like a whole. This is easy. That's hard.
Yeah. Again, I might even structure like a review around it.
Yeah.
And make it even longer. But, But,
I guess this just happened.
That was The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yay.
That I haven't watched,
Yay.
but now I feel like I have.
I mean, I cut out all the bullshit for you. This is about the same exact time as watching them.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
Well, I've been Sal.
I've been Josiah.
Thank you for listening to The Escape Pod. We missed you. I guess this is our comeback. I felt it earlier today.
The Escape Pod always has a comeback.
I was walking home and I'm like, is now the time? I've all my Jocelyn Possums edited for like 2 months.
I feel like Jocelyn Possum is where like that's gonna grow faster. The Escape Pod's like the sleeper that gets big like years from now.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you want us to do this again. We're gonna do it anyway because I want to tell you.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll tune in next time when we talk about episode 3
and 4. Yeah. I'm gonna find a change out of my work clothes.
Yeah, do that.
This I got off for like 3 hours ago.
Thanks for inviting me into your office.
Oh, dude, of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I had potatoes.
that's gonna be the end. Oh, I forgot I had potatoes. Oh no.
Bro,